then again, and then again. Okay, well, it's time for a Sicilian. Let's play a Sicilian. Rated 1840. I'm going to play a classical Sicilian here, if he allows it. So far, he is. So you play the knight to f6 to attack the e-pawn, so that he has to defend it, hopefully blocking his c-pawn. Then bringing the knight out is the classical Sicilian. a6 is a knight orf, and g6 there is the dragon variation, e6, the Scheveningen. So this indicates he's going for the English attack. Let's play e5. It's a good antidote in this position. If he takes, you get an extra pawn in the center. Usually they just retreat. So let's try and get an early d5 in. My e-pawn is not yet under fire. Yeah, let's prepare to castle kingside. I could have played d5 then, I suspect, but I did want to get castled. Okay, so I take there, he's going to have an isolated pawn, and I'll have a couple of weak pawns here. If I don't take, he pushes, which would be a bit annoying. It would cramp my king side. So I will go for this. This is defended at the moment. Let's castle. He gets the open f-file, so he can try and get some kind of attack going. Yeah, it looks like that's his single-minded focus at this point. Although this leads to a queen trade, which probably is not to white's advantage. Well, let's take the queens off. I have the check. I think that's good. And kind of like to dislodge his knight. But I don't see a way to do it. So I'm going to try this. Maybe I'll get the bishop pair advantage this way. I'm threatening the fork here and the fork here. So I suspect he has to take. Bishop takes, then the rook has to move. Can't attack my bishop there because this bishop covers it. The bishop pair looks pretty good on the open board here. He did not think that he had to deal with that. Okay, so well, let's think. This covers the f2 square, so I can't play the check. I can play the fork, but then he grabs my bishop. So knight here, knight takes bishop, knight takes rook, rook takes, and I don't have anything great there. So we'll drop back. I'm still threatening this fork at least. Oh, I'm also threatening his bishop. It was kind of a triple threat. But if I took his bishop, he would have just taken mine, so that wouldn't have led to anything. Okay, so now I do get the bishop pair. And then there's also this skewer here. What's the best way to do this? His idea is to come over here and pin my bishop with the threat here. So even if I play the fork, you know, bishop e2 is a fork of the two rooks. He plays rook here to escape. But maybe I could play f6 then. And his bishop is hanging. And his rook is hanging. But he could play knight takes with check. It's getting complicated. Okay, I'm going to try this. F5, hitting the knight. The knight has to go to G3 or C3 in order to protect against bishop E2. Well, still, he doesn't have to protect against that. But now, anyway, I have the idea of rook F7 to defend G7. Might have been a better way out of that. There was some funny... there was also the skewer, rook to E8 would skewer these two pieces, but then he did have that counterattack on my bishop, so I could not find a great way to solve all of those problems. So now, knight here he's thinking about. So let's bring the other rook over. Cover the E3 square. E6 square. So now maybe bishop. Yeah, bishop e2 here, right? That looks like that's good. Unless I get mated. So rook g3. Bishop takes rook. I'm a rook up. But he plays knight here. And he's got three pieces trained on... three pieces trained on the G7 square. So I take the knight. Comes in here with the check. Well, he goes that way. That's another way to do it. Maybe it's more effective even. Because after the check, I have to go there. Then he can move the rook there, for example. Say rook g7, king h8, rook g6. And that is mate. Because I don't have a good way to block the diagonal. So let's block the diagonal while I can. Yeah, oh, he takes there. Okay. So what can I take? Nothing? What about if I attack the knight? There's a mate threat on the back rank, too. So maybe just bishop to d3 would have been a winner. Perhaps. Wow, what a complicated situation. Bishop d3 or bishop to g4. Hits the rook. If the rook goes back, then that's mate. Ah, his bishop. His bishop is guarding the e1 square, so it wasn't a mate threat. Okay, so he's going to get some discovered check here with the rook. So let's pause. At the moment, it's even materially. I've got a rook in 2 pieces. He's got a rook in 2 pieces. He has 2 extra pawns. So I grab the knight. He moves the rook with check. And I move my king. So what can he attack? He can attack another pawn, huh? I mean, I saw that I could defend the rook here if he does that. So, crazy complications. So rook to d8 threatens mate on the back rank. Aha. So he decides to deal with that. The rook d8 anyway. Because I have bishop c7 check. Takes the pawn. Ah, that covers the c7 square. Yeah, so I can get a check in. Okay, now that's pinned. Let's trade pawns here. Try and save my pawn. What's the thing to do here? Threaten mate again. How about threaten mate? It's always, threatening mate is always in order, right? Ah. If I go here, and he takes the bishop, then I mate him. If I go here and he takes the bishop, he takes it with check, I take back. I'll be a rook up. I just want to be able to walk away from the checks. I don't want to go for the draw if he just keeps checking me. So I think he had to give up the exchange there if he wanted to keep playing. I don't see a way out of the mate at the moment. Can't move the g-pawn, can't move his king, and moving the h-pawn doesn't help. And he can't control the h1 square or stop me from getting to it. Well, let's see if he comes up with anything. He's been pretty creative so far. So I don't see anything, though. There's no checks from his bishop or pawns. I mean, he can put it off for a move or two, but only by blocking with his bishop. Yeah, I don't see any way out. He should resign or move and let me mate him. Okay, decided to move. All right, that was a nice little tactical workout there with the minor pieces. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.